Welcome to the Pixelated Porch Podcast. You are joined by your three friendly nerds, Ricky, Chris, and Mike. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about music. Music that shaped our childhood and music that we still enjoy today. Of course, you guys know the drill by now. I want to know what the fellas have been up to. I don't remember who went first last time, so Michael, how was your week, sir?
Oh, what have I been up to this week? Oh, shoot. A lot of shit. No, actually, I think I had a relaxing week this week. Man, I feel like when I get home, I don't remember what I did this week. I don't remember what I did last week. I don't remember where I was the week before. I sure as hell don't know what's happening next week.
Who am I?
Yeah, exactly. So I was,
Time is a construct.
yeah. 100% true. I was in Orlando, Florida this week. Yeah, exactly. We were actually staying right outside of Orlando Studios. So all the tourists and whatnot. So that was really fun. I don't know. It was a while back. I went to Orlando and we were staying in the same area, right? And it's just like people are moving like 5 miles an hour, right? 5 miles an hour, 2-lane road. Like it's next to like the Ferris wheel and the big Tower of Doom that they drop down and spin people around. If you guys know where that is, so all the hotels in that area. So it's a stop sign right in front of, I believe it was the Joe's Crab Shack stop sign or the red light that was right there. And the other guy going 5 miles an hour rear-ended the guy in front of him at like 5 miles an hour because he wasn't paying attention. And the guy who got hit got out of the car and says, "What are you, stupid?" And Frank, you know, my coworker Frank and I are just sitting there just like we didn't hit them. We're just like, we're that car right next to them. So we just saw this happen. And we're just like, this is fucking awkward. Because the guy's just like yelling at the other dude, like, "Are you stupid? Like, seriously? Like, you hit me at a red light going 5 miles an hour?" Like, anyway. So I hate tourist locations just because nobody knows how to drive. Nobody's from that area. And you just got a whole bunch of people not paying attention, not a care in the world, walking across the street, shit-faced drunk. You know, like, that's jaywalking. It's a 50-mile-an-hour zone, and you're just playing leapfrog here, you know. So, or a Frogger, you know. So
a car accident at like 5 miles an hour. Like I just imagine that cartoon, that boom, like that's the noise that it makes.
Yeah, it pretty much was, and that's why the guy got out. And it was an Indian guy, so he had like that accent. He's like, "What are you, stupid?" You know, well, that was an Indian accent, like from India accent. And anyway, so I spent Orlando this whole entire week down in Orlando at a site, just basically doing quality or being QA or doing a continuous improvement, basically saying, "Hey, you guys are screwing up here, here, and here. This is how you're going to make it better." And then I left. It was my one of my coworkers and I that went down to do that. And then so that was that. I got back Friday, and then just been chilling. Did some finished up my insulation. Finished up a whole bunch of stuff in the house. I mean, I stay busy like a bee, so it's like nonstop all the time. I have been playing a little bit of Outriders, so I played some Outriders earlier today and sometime yesterday before the servers went down, but absolutely loving it. So definitely you guys got to get that game. But yeah, I mean, pretty easy week. Nothing exciting or fancy to report back from that. And Ricky, what have you been up to this week?
Yeah, so on the subject of Outriders, I am downloading it as we speak. I was hoping I'd be able to get to download it and play it a little bit this afternoon before we got on the podcast, but nah. So I'm gonna try it out. We'll see how it goes. The other games of this stature didn't really hold my attention all that much, but with this being like a third-person sci-fi setting, maybe. We'll see. Because I need something that is not Halo right now. I'm kind of like in that in-between games, somewhat depression. Like
no more Halo.
Like, I went from playing like Final Fantasy VII, like a fantastic video game, to like nothing. So I was like, damn, I don't know what to do. I got in the same kind of slump after I got done playing the Jiggies of Time as well. It's like, I don't know what to do anymore. So, and I can't even look at Halo, even though there's like a brand new season about to come out. I could not be less excited. So there's my weekly mention of Halo for you. So I forgot to mention this last week, but I did actually go and get my first round of COVID shots. I got that last week, so that was fun. Very tightly organized ship. Walked in. Who are you? Go over there. Stab you. Sit over here. Go. So. The arm is still attached, although my 5G reception is phenomenal. So you guys got to check it out. It's great. Nanobots haven't really been bothering me too bad, so things are looking pretty good.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, well, maybe all that starts to set in on the second shot. So I'll have to report in on the situation once that time comes. So yeah, did that. Attack on Titan. What I thought, and what the rest of humanity thought, was the season/series finale was last Sunday. And then about 5 minutes after the episode aired, they were like, nope, that's actually the finale of part 1 of 2. And that's supposed to be coming out, they said, winter of 2022.
Oh, so another year out. Oh my god, a year and a half out.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking too, and then I saw other people who were saying that might actually mean like February, like January, February, since it's still technically winter 2022. So, which will be like what, 6 to 8 months away. So I'm hoping that rather than like December of 2022, because now I got the itch. Like I want to know what happens.
Man, I feel like an idiot. I still feel like we're in 2020.
I mean,
we're in 2021, so yeah. So December would be 7
we're
months from now.
already 4 months in. Like, what the hell?
I think we've already established that I'm bad at math. So,
Pump
year and a half,
brakes.
2 years, whatever.
Yeah. I saw a thing on Twitter where it was like what you think Mario was 20 years ago, and it's the SNES Mario, and it's like Mario from 20 years ago, and it was Mario Sunshine. It's like,
no, don't give me that information.
Yeah, time is a construct. So, but yeah, Attack on Titan, watch that. Godzilla 2014, I watched that in preparation for Godzilla vs. Kong. So I figured out why they did the Halo jump. So it looks very cool. It's good for a trailer. Number 3, they did it because there was like a monster that had like EMP, so they had to fly like way up above him and then drop in because they had like some analog mechanical bomb, and they had to like stop it from exploding. So that's why they like dropped in behind monster enemy lines to deactivate this thing so they wouldn't get affected by the EMP. So mystery has been solved. Does it make sense? I don't know. Godzilla vs. Kong. Watch that. It was all right. It was a big lizard punching a big monkey. The special effects, like the CGI, looked awesome. There was like one fight scene where they're like in the middle. It's either like Hong Kong or Tokyo. It's a very like all the RGB like gaming setups that you see. Like imagine like that, but an entire city and a big old lizard and monkey punching each other and stuff. And there was a surprise about halfway through the movie as well, where it's like, oh, that's from the other movie or other movies. It was okay. I probably would not watch it again. I really did like 2014 though. That was really good, and King of Monsters was good as well, which I talked about last time with the 3-headed dragon and the cross in the foreground and stuff. So
now, Ricky, somebody uploaded a picture of Curious George and Barney fighting in a city, and they said that was a good, accurate description of the movie. Is that accurate?
I mean, pretty much. So, like, there's characters in this movie who are just, I mean, they're there, you know? They serve zero purpose. Like, there's a couple of the main characters from King of Monsters. And, like, literally, this guy's entire thing in this movie is just running around, like, not knowing what the hell's going on. Like, oh, what? He's over there? Oh, what do you mean? And roll credits.
You say that, and I'm thinking, like, if I could cast anyone to be in that role, Don Knotts.
Don Knotts would be phenomenal. He's one of my favorite actors.
I would have let me Google Don Knotts real quick. Who is so?
You don't know who Don Knotts is?
He's the deputy from the Andy Griffith Show, with the really weird like buggy eyes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He can't keep his revolver loaded. He's got to keep his bullets in his pocket.
Yeah.
That guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is pretty much exactly his character. What do you mean? Yeah, there's actually a guy in there who like runs a like monsters podcast. It's actually like the very opening to the movie is just it's actually the girl from she was in the previous movie, but she was also she played 11 in Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Cannot remember the actress's name. And wow, what a downgrade. She was pretty good in the last one. This one was not good. Like, hey, you guys want to go break into a top secret military facility? Let's go. And then they do it, and they have no concern whatsoever that they're going to be caught or go to jail or any of that. Like, it's just them acting like they're cool, breaking into top secret military facilities. It's like, this is dumb. And then you see Godzilla and King Kong fight, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much that movie, and there's not anything else to it. And that was pretty much my week. Chris.
Speaking of fighting a giant monkey in a downtown metro area, how's your knee, Ricky?
Oh, yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I did do that. Yeah, so my knee hurts. It's kind of off and on. I went to...
I thought for sure you were just going to leave it at that.
And that's about it.
My knee hurts.
But yeah, I went to like a little doc in the box. I don't really have like a primary physician. I never have had one really my entire life. We just kind of like, I don't know. I don't ever hardly get sick or break bones or anything. So I haven't really, I guess, had the need for one. But I went there. They're like, so what's wrong with your knee? I was like, well, it hurts. So to kind of describe, I mean, you know, I've discussed what it feels like, you know, tight guitar string, whatnot, sharp, stabby pain. But the thing is, it's off and on. Like, I can't produce it every time. But I can bend my knee. I can, like, bend my knee and, like, move my foot in a circle while it's bent, and it doesn't bother me. But I don't know. But they seem to think that it's not tendon-related, that it might actually be something related to my bones in my knee, like a spur or something. So she basically said there's nothing they can do and recommended me to an ortho specialist. So got that to look forward to. Like I said, like I just squatted down, I pet a dog, and I stood up, and it was like, fuck.
I'll teach you to pet a dog ever again.
Yeah, it's kind of sucks because I can't really, which I don't really do it that often anymore, but I can't really do drums. I was looking forward. I was thinking about actually taking up skating again. Can't really do that, and I don't know. I have to be like careful with what I feel like. I'm a senior citizen. Like I can't do things. So I don't know. Yeah, my body's just falling apart. It's great.
It's what we get for getting old.
Should have not got old.
It's your own damn fault.
Time is a construct. Yeah, that's all I have to share with the class.
Okay. Well, for me, I haven't really done anything. Our contractors came out, and I'm air quoting as hard as I can, finished the job.
Just sprains your wrist.
Yeah. So they have been... First off, we started the project back in August. Last year, August. Our contractor would ghost us for 3 weeks to a month at a time. Just no communication whatsoever. What's going on? And then, like, he would randomly just be like, oh, yeah, by the way, we can't move forward with this step of the process until you get me this. So we could have been getting you that all this time that you've been ghosting us. Anyway, but yeah, they've been hounding us like loan sharks. Like, where's our money? You know, trying to get their money. And so, like, I sent him an email a few weeks ago, and I was just like, hey, like, we're fine to give you your money, but you have to finish the job first. So we went through some emails back and forth with the company. I mean, it's really not really a company. It's just some guy. And, like, it is so frustrating. Ricky, you said this, I think, last podcast, just, like, coming from a customer satisfaction standpoint or customer set, like, making people happy standpoint.
Yeah.
It's like they are blaming us for everything not being done correctly. And like we're like, hey, you know, you guys threw these logs at the bottom of the hill, then you had to have an excavator come. Well, they tore up the gravel and they tore up the hill, so now you need to come fix the gravel on the hill again. And they're like blaming us for like those things. It's like,
well, if you didn't have a shitty yard, then we wouldn't have like put ruts in it.
Right. And they're like, you know, this project's taking too long. And the CEO, the owner of the company said, you're fortunate that your contractor, the guy that we had, is doing you a favor helping you out. Yeah, big favor. Thank you for whatever it is that you've done. So it's been such a nightmare.
Thank you for halfway cleaning up the mess that you made. Appreciate it.
Yes. So, I mean, we were trying to get money off, but like the email that we got back from the CEO, like my wife and I, we were absolutely ready to go, like just fighting about this, like back and forth, like negotiating. But like the CEO did zero negotiating and just sent an email basically blaming us for everything. Not even once admitting fault that like, yeah, our contractors should be contacting you more frequently. Or like at one point I called him, I think it was back in like January, and he's like, I'll be emailing you. I'm emailing you weekly updates as to what's going on. And he just never did. He sent us one and that was it. So like, he didn't even like admit fault there. So, and then on top of that, he basically called us poor. So he was like, typically we take big jobs. This is a little job. And every time that you've sent us payment, it's been weird. We've mailed you a check that's gone through every time. So anyway, they came out to fix the things that they unfixed by fixing the fix. Our contractor was here. He didn't speak to us once. He had his little lackey come to the door. So they had a piece of machinery for leveling out the dirt because, like I said, when they were here last time, they left huge ruts in our clay. So they put that thing back on the truck, but like half the hill still has these ruts on it. And so he's like, you know, here's your paperwork. We're all done. And I was told to get the check from you. I'm like, okay, well, here's the check. By the way, there are still ruts here on the hill. And he's like, okay, yeah, we'll pull the excavator off and we'll just go ahead and see if we can get those taken care of. And then they left. Just like left.
Damn.
Yeah. So, if anybody's listening and you feel like you're going to do something with a contractor, for the love of all that is holy, get a contract. This has been frustrating, man. But I mean, luckily we're done with it, but like things still don't look very good.
Yeah.
Like,
have you review bombed them on like Yelp or Facebook or whatever?
Not yet. I mean, they are part of the Better Business Bureau. I mean, they are on Google and stuff. And I mean, the interesting thing is they have really good reviews. So I feel like we were kind of an odd job. I mean, we weren't asking them to do very much. We need a gravel, we need power, we need water, and we need septic. Like, that's it. Usually they build like $1 million homes. So the plan was, you guys do this now, and then when we build the house in a couple years, we'll use you then. So, you know, you kind of already are aware of the project. Well, like, we're certainly not using them now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
why would you?
Yeah, but I mean, things just look really bad still. Like, there is still trash everywhere. Like, the clay is just torn up. The gravel's torn up. Like, they did not care. This is a rush job. So that has kind of, like, changed our priorities a little bit. And luckily, my wife is incredibly smart when it comes to, like, financing and all the legal stuff that I don't feel like knowing because I'm bad at it. So she actually found a way that we can use the land kind of as collateral now, even though we're still making payments on it, and start building the house a lot sooner. So, like, we may be building a house here, like, this year. Which is
that'd be
pretty cool.
amazing.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm really excited about it. I love, like, design stuff, and I like architecture stuff. So, like, we've been going over plans. I've drawn up a couple blueprints that we've sent to a couple of people, just like, hey, what do you think? Could you do this within our budget? So it's pretty exciting. That'd be really cool if we could start building this year. So, aside from that, I put a gigantic hole in my hand.
You didn't shoot yourself, did you?
No, it's a lot dumber than that. So, so I took the hard drive out of the Mac Mini to do that data transfer. So I was putting it back together, and there is a part on there where you have to twist like where the power connection goes. You have to like turn it like counterclockwise to lock it into place. You're supposed to do this with a pair of like needle nose pliers. Well, those were about 10 feet away and inconvenient to me. So in my infinite wisdom, I decide I'm just going to take my screwdriver and push really hard, and that'll snap it into place. Of course, right before that, I sit there and think, how could this backfire? I was like, I could hit my hand, but it probably wouldn't be that bad. Sure enough, 30 seconds later, my screwdriver slips, and it jabs me right there between like where your thumb and your index finger is, and like immediately had like an immediately had like an indent in my skin, like a puncture in my skin, and I was like, this is gonna hurt like a bitch in about 30 seconds. And it did.
I can't remember. I just did that same thing the other day. I can't remember, or it was like last week. I was doing something and I had that like, don't do this, because if you do this, this is what's going to happen. And I'm like, what do you know, self? You stupid idiot. You know,
you
like,
idiot.
You don't know anything. You're not going to do that. Sure shit enough. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was, but I put a hole somewhere. I did like skin something, and I was just like, I think. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. I was incorrectly sharpening a knife. And I was like, no, you need to do it this way, or you're gonna cut yourself. And I'm like, nah, if I'm just careful enough, I'll be okay. There we go. All right, cool.
My finger.
I'm like, Jesus. It's just, I hate those. You know, you got that intuition. You're like, yep, this will happen. No, and it happened.
Yep, it sure did, and it doesn't feel great. That was like 2 days ago. Luckily, it's on my right hand, and I'm left-handed, so
there we go.
It's not too bad. But yeah, I can like feel it's like a deep pain I don't enjoy. But dude, I think that's it. I've been playing more Burnout, but that's not that big of a deal.
How long did it take for it to actually download?
I think like 2 or 3 days, and then I downloaded. It's a game that I played before called The Forest. I don't know if you guys have played it or not. You're basically
you're like naked with rocks.
No, I think that's Rust.
Oh yeah, that's Rust. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I don't know.
Continue.
You're on a plane with your stupid kid, and then you crash in the plane, and there's cannibals, and you have to survive on the island. It's really an island survival game, but they call it The Forest, but it's really the island. Anyway, it's a pretty fun game. It's like a mixture between 7 Days to Die and Minecraft, and I don't know. It's like one of those like open world horror survival games. It's not very much money, and it's kind of fun. Just like at all times while you're playing, there is at least one cannibal watching you. And you know that at all times there's a cannibal watching you. And then when it gets dark, they like swarm, like running swarm at you.
Ew. What can you like look up in the woods and you can see them looking at you?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yes. Yeah. And like if you turn your back, like they'll get close to you and you'll like turn around and they'll be like standing right there during the day. But like at night they lose their minds. Anyway, I downloaded that. It's a 4.4 gigabyte file. It took I think 2 days to download of like constant, almost uninterrupted time, which is pretty cool. I haven't played that. I haven't gone back and played that yet, but I intend to. It's a pretty fun game because like you can build things by blueprints. So you can say I want to build like this cabin, and you have to go cut down trees, gather the logs, and then you like drop the logs into like the blueprint frame, and that builds it for you. So like it's not like Minecraft where you just like free build and place blocks wherever. Like you're like, okay, I want to do this, but the structure says, all right, well then you need 400 logs. So
Gotcha.
It's
So
an
that
interesting
actually reminds me. I saw an ad for it today. It's I guess from the guy who originally made DayZ is coming out with a new game. It's called Icarus, and it's like a sci-fi like survival game, kind of like what you were describing, like where you have to basically the way that they described it is you have like an orbiting like space station or an orbiting satellite, and what you have to do is you drop down onto this planet, and I think you can do it with up to like 3 other people, so like 4 people total. It's either 3 or 4, one of the two, and and you basically have to like survive and gather resources in an X amount of time. And I said it can be anywhere from like a couple of hours to like a couple of days, but there's wildlife there, or like things on the planet that will be like trying to kill you as you're doing that. And so you have to like, they were like almost like Minecraft style, like chopping down trees, and they would make like bow and arrows and stuff. And I'm sure like the more time you have, the more, if you get lucky on your drop, like you can get like better resources and make better weapons and stuff. But then you have to do all that, survive and get X resources, and then make it back to your shuttle and go back up to your orbiting station. But it also has like a permadeath thing as well. So like if you die, like you lose all your progress, or if you miss the shuttle to go back, then you lose all your progress as well. But if you do all that and make it back to the shuttle in time, then you get to keep everything you got when you drop down again. I was like, I don't normally like go for those types of games, but that sounds pretty interesting.
I don't know how
it's free to play as well, so.
Because I'd hate to, like, just like with Fortnite and PUBG and Warzone, like, you spend so much time to get to like number 2, number 3, and then you're dead. And then you waste like 30 minutes of your life.
Oh wait, it's like a battle royale kind
no,
of thing?
No, it doesn't sound like it. But like the whole entire point, like if you die and lose everything, or if you don't meet this, then everything's lost. So like that 30 minutes that you played, or however long, it's lost. Start again, and that's like what PUBG and Warzone and Fortnite is to me when you play those games, like. It's you play forever for those maps. Yeah, it was fun killing like that one person, but then you get sniped from someone who's better than you, and then you're dead. So like this game's like, you know, the permadeath, and if you die by an animal, you lose everything. If you don't make it to the shuttle, you lose everything. Like, how long does it take, and how much time are you wasting just to die?
Yeah, which I mean, I guess again, it kind of like they were saying, like it depends on what the level of your drop is and what your mission is for the drop. But yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I don't know, it kind of sounds interesting that there's games that I normally would not think that I would enjoy, but then I end up liking them. And actually, that might be a good episode for another day. Maybe we can do that. Games we thought
Mike, it sounds
were
like
gonna hate.
like the vaults on Fallout 76. Like when you enter the vaults, if you die, you die until the mission's over.
I don't think I've done a vault yet.
Really?
You're not talking about those new missions that they're doing, right? Are you talking about like the...
They've been around for a little while. Yeah, you go into like the vault and you start a mission. Like you either have to restart the reactor or drain the basement or whatever, and like you and a team of people can go in. If you die, you stay dead until your team either finishes or everybody's dead and the mission fails. And you can't leave the vault once you start.
No, I don't think I've done one. I don't think I've done those like those challenges where it is like 4 people, but I've always been able to get revived, and where it's like turn on the radio frequency. It's like one of those new man, I don't know what it's called. It's it's like a on yeah, I can't remember what it is, but no, the actual vault like Vault 94, like the Vault 94 raid. Is that one of the ones you're talking? Yeah, I haven't done like one of the vault raids. Yeah, no, I haven't done any of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a raid from like Destiny or World of Warcraft or something.
Kinda, yeah. It is kind of like a raid. I guess the last thing. So I've been for work. I've been writing a lot of content. I've been writing like new quizzes and things. Writing quizzes are really hard, by the way. I don't have a whole lot of experience doing it, but like thinking of a question and then thinking of answers to the question. And thinking of all the dumb things that somebody else could say, why that's not a correct answer, because that's really hard. Anyway, I was doing a lot of writing, and when I write, I listen to music loudly to just like block out all my other thoughts so I can like laser focus. Through this week, I've actually found a new band that like I really like. It's not typically a music style that I really go for. I really don't care for like electronic, I guess like dubsteppy music. It feels overdone to me. All of it sounds the same and it just sounds like noise. But there's this band called I'm assuming you pronounce it Ghost. It's Ghost. And it's like cyberpunk music, and it's like high paced, really complex. And I don't know, like I have been listening to that band almost nonstop since I discovered them. So it's interesting when you find new music like that, because I've been in a lull where I don't know what to listen to. Like, I don't want to listen to my old stuff right now. I don't want to listen to anything that's new, because it's like you go through like your new music and it's just Anyway, so yeah, it's neat when you find new music like that, because I wasn't expecting to find it. So definitely worth checking out if you like that kind of music. But that is a pretty good segue into our topic. So I want to talk about music today. I love music. I know you guys both love music too. You know, if it's a moment in the day, chances are I've got music either playing over speakers in my AirPods. I love listening to music. I could listen to music 24 hours a day, even while I'm sleeping. So I feel like music really shaped a lot of the memories in my childhood. So like every now and then you hear a song, you be like, yeah, I remember, back then when I found that. So I want to kind of talk about, I guess, memories and past experiences in music. So my first question for you guys is, what music specifically reminds you of your childhood? And does it remind you of your childhood because of your parents, or it's because music that you found later that tied towards a certain feeling?
Mike, you want to go?
I want that question restated.
What music reminds you of your childhood?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why that was so difficult. For some reason, that was just like made me feel
the
so
second part was a little wordy, but like, is it music that your parents listened to, and that's why?
Oh yeah, okay. So like for my childhood, it depends on how far you go back. So when I think of my childhood, I think of like 11, 12, 13, 10, 9, somewhere around there, right? Like you're, between 8 and 14. When I was like listening to like AFI a lot, and I'd be listening to like Hawthorne Heights, Bullet for My Valentine.
One of those kids.
Yeah. Well, I tried to be one of those kids, but I was a preppy dude, so I had to dress nice because my parents dressed me. So whenever I hear like AFI, like Love Like Winter, like December, anything off of December Underground's album, which I've got pulled up right here, like Miss Murder, like I think of like that. But like then when I was being raised as a kid, like Tub Thumping, I get knocked down, but I get up again. That one. Have you guys ever heard that one?
God.
So there's that song, and that reminds you of like childhood, and the other one is The Offspring. What was it? Nerdy, like a white guy. It was like Nerdy Like a White Guy or something like that. Fly for a White Guy or something like that.
That was Offspring?
I was pretty sure. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was Offspring.
Pretty fly for a white guy. Yes.
Yeah, Pretty Fly for a White Guy. So that was one of the songs that my mom was listening to, and
what?
My mom was like rocking out to that song, and there's a part in it where it's like he's like they're gonna kick his lily ass or something like that in it, right? It's like the only time they swear in the song, and my brother and I are like giggling in the car. And my mom was just like, "What are you guys giggling about?" And we're like, "Nothing." And
ass,
because we
Mom.
thought it was funny.
Ass.
Yeah, ass. And so my mom would have to mute like that song each time it played on the radio. And so was Smash Mouth.
God.
Is it Dancing on the Sun? I think it was Smash Mouth.
Well be done. No, Walking on the Sun.
Walking on the Sun, that's right. Yeah, so when I think about like that, those are a couple of the childhood songs that bring me back to like early years. Those are like 90s,
Yeah.
And my dad still listens to like a whole bunch of old stuff, and that just makes me feel nostalgic for like, my parents still listen to this stuff. But those are the bands that I listen to a lot,
My if you're done, Mike, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I was gonna say my parents, for the most part, had pretty lame taste in music. Like my mom was all about, and still is all about, Rod Stewart. She actually the beagle that I busted my knee open kneeling down to pet is named Maggie, which is named after one of Rod Stewart's songs, Maggie May. So, little fun fact for you. So yeah, I didn't ever actually really listen to music when I was younger until I got, I guess like maybe like 14, 15, when I kind of started discovering stuff on my own. I did listen to some stuff from my dad that I still listen to, and I get really nostalgic about. Like, he was really into Jim Croce, which is like acoustic, I guess you could say. I think he's from like the 60s, 70s. I don't really know, but he's got a couple good songs. Like Message in a Bottle and what is it?
I think I know the Message in a Bottle. Yeah, I think I know that one.
You don't tug on Superman's cape. I don't know what it's called, but he's got a couple good songs I still listen to all the time. I got them on my Spotify. I only have like one Spotify playlist, and it's just every song ever that I've hit the like button on, and I just put that on shuffle. So, and if I'm not in the mood, skip. So that's how I operate my Spotify situation. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of the bands that I listened to when I was younger, I still listen to this day. A lot of them I'm kind of burnt out on, or like I'll take really big breaks and then I'll come back and listen to them. But I mean, I guess like Linkin Park was huge for me back in the day. Like, they were on, like Meteora especially was on repeat constantly, for better or worse. Because like, I don't know, that song. Actually, I was listening to Linkin Park just yesterday. But yeah, I mean, that their songs range from everything from like getting me hyped to like super sad. Like, there's a lot of like good and bad memories that I can attribute to Linkin Park, but I definitely listened to them a lot when I was in my early teens. System of a Down was another really big one for me. I actually kind of hated System when I first heard him. Like, Serge Tankian's voice is, he's got such a weird kind of sounding voice. But I don't know, it grew on me over time, and like, they've got some heavy songs, but the melodies that the two singers can do with each other is really, really good. And I still listen to System and their solo and side projects like all the time.
If cocaine was music.
Yeah, like their first album especially, holy shit. Them boys was on the cocaina.
I mean, that was what the hair bands were all about, right, in the 80s, right? And they were all on drugs singing Kiss. I say Kiss, but there's plenty of others. I
can't
Def
do...
Leppard was one.
I can't do those classic rock bands, man. It does nothing for me. Like Pink Floyd, Def Leppard, what is the other ones?
You don't like Pink Floyd,
Led
really?
Zeppelin.
I don't know, man. Like, if it's on in the background, I won't turn it off. But I can honestly say that I have never like actively searched a Pink Floyd song to listen to. Like, I don't know, just doesn't really, just doesn't vibe with me, I suppose. That's dad rock. I don't want to listen to that shit. And I just pissed off. I know one person in particular I just pissed off. Amanda, sorry. What else? I mean, Slipknot. I fucking love Slipknot. Still one of my all-time favorite bands. I listen to them all the time. Even though I do get burned out on my times. If I ever see that they're coming to town, I'm absolutely going to see it. I've seen Slipknot like 6 times now. Like, I love Slipknot. Who else? Disturbed is another one that I listen to a lot. 3 Days Grace. A lot of bands from that time.
I burned myself out of 3 Days Grace. I still can't get back into 3 Days Grace.
Childhood.
Oh, okay. Well, I was like early teens, but yeah. Yeah, childhood. I didn't really listen to music. I mean, I would guess like whatever was on the radio, like early Linkin Park. Smash Mouth was one. I actually have a very specific memory of that song, "Walking on the Sun." I was getting dropped off to at my 2nd grade school, and that song was on the radio. That was about it. I didn't really listen to stuff when I was a kid.
Really?
Or maybe like the Space Jam theme song. Come on and slam if you want to jam. Or actually, I think it was the opposite. But
I've never seen that movie.
The new one the trailer actually just came out today for the new one with LeBron James. Looks pretty dope. I think it's coming to HBO Max as well, day one.
Didn't he die in a plane crash?
No, that was Kobe Bryant. That was Kobe Bryant.
Oh, Kobe Bryant. It was helicopter crash.
Oh. Sports ball. Well, for me, I remember my parents' music. Like Ricky said, my parents had really, I guess, lame tasted music. But I still listen to some of the music that my parents listened to. My dad mostly, not my mom. So my mom loved like Yanni and like Enya and like a bunch of those like just like ambient like piano style. I hated that because what signified a cleaning day in the house was we'd wake up to that music playing.
Yep.
You would go into the house where mom was, and it would smell like bleach or ammonia or some kind of cleaner. You would see the vacuum sitting out, and you would hear that on the stereo. Oh shit!
It's like, no, I guess I'm sick today.
Yeah, dude, I can totally relate to that. I know exactly what you mean.
That kind of music still, like when I hear it, I'm like, oh god, cleaning. So that's the kind of music my mom listened to. My dad listened to like Steppenwolf, like Santana, and those kind of bands. And I still listen to that stuff every now and then.
My dad was super into Santana too.
Yeah, I think it's like required that every dad listen to Santana.
Yeah,
I don't think my dad.
You know how many times I've heard Lowrider in my life?
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's Santana, but I think it is. But
I don't know.
My dad was like into like Alabama.
Yes.
And like a whole bunch of like old
the Eagles and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Eagles too. Yeah, that is straight up my dad. Yep. Yeah. I can see him now with a can of Bush in his hand. Hell yeah! Yeah.
Journey.
Yep. But my dad would come into the living room every now and then, and he would whip out the record player and all of his old records, and he would just sit around listening to that music on his big stereo system and talk about how he and his friends used to do stuff to different songs and things like that. So every now and then I'll go back and listen to that kind of music. But yeah, when I think of my childhood, I think of like Yanni, and I think of like Steppenwolf and all that other kind of stuff. So I didn't really, I guess, start developing my own music tastes until I was like in my teenage years. My parents weren't exactly religious, but we were in church a lot. And like music was the gateway to the devil's armpit or something. Mm-hmm. So like they were really restrictive of what we could listen to. We couldn't listen to any kind of like metal or anything like that. So, we had like CDs, but it was like Carmen and like the choirs and like stuff.
Just hymns.
So I remember like the first CD I got for like one of my birthdays, like when I was around 10 years old, I got AC/DC's Back in Black came out, and my dad got me that. And my mom was like, ooh, I don't think so. I don't think this is good music for him to be I mean, it probably wasn't, because of what AC/DC's lyrics consist of. But anyway, so it wasn't until my later years that I actually started developing my own kind of like taste in music. So that kind of takes me to my next question. What bands really changed your listening genres? So like from what you used to listen to, like when you were younger, and like one band that you were like, oh my god, this kind of music exists. Do you guys have any of those?
Mike?
I'm trying to think. Like music that changed my listening style?
Yeah. So like you listen to something that like I said, my parents had me listening to, like all that kind of music. I guess I can just go first. Like the band that I heard that changed my music listening styles from is Linkin Park. My next door neighbor lent me a burnt copy of Meteora, and I was like, holy god, where's this music been? And I had to hide it from my parents. I had him label it I don't remember what I had him label it as, but it's like, do not label it the band or the name of the album or anything. I forget what I had him label it as, because my parents would like go through my CDs every now and then.
My parents are the same exact way. So my dad pre-listened to all my music, and I definitely do agree with, I know this isn't really answering your question, I definitely do really agree that what you feed yourself, you can dwell on, especially as a young child with a developing mind. But yeah, I was the same way. And for like the young years, so my parents would only let me listen to Christian music. They were like, you can either listen to Christian music or you can listen to country music. And I was like, I'm not going to be like you Jesus freaks. And I listened to country. So I listened to country for like 3 years of my life straight. And that was like right after like 9/11. And
where were you?
And Jesus Christ, country was so depressing. So anyway, so yeah, so I mean, like I would go to school and people would give me CDs and stuff like that. My friends would give me CDs and I'd hide them from my parents. So usually I'd have to have them like vetted, but I'd try and hide them if I could put them in my CD player. And my dad would always be like, "Oh, what are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Fuck. Nothing, Dad. Like, no, it's just one of your stats, family album CDs that you made, blah, blah, blah."
Just some Cradle of Filth.
Yep. And so multiple times, But I remember like going down in the middle of the night, and I'd watch like MTV when they had their music videos. So like, I mean, the first bands that I like really like were interested in to really, really did like were like when 30 Seconds to Mars came out in 2005 with their A Beautiful Lie album with the Attack and which one, From Yesterday, their music videos for that, and Green Day.
All the teenage girls liked 30 Seconds from Mars.
Yep. And so like that was the music that I really liked. And then also, of course, as I'm repping the shirt right now, Angels and Airwaves, when I learned about Angels and Airwaves a few years later. So it was that type of music, and it was I think Green Day and like I said, 30 Seconds to Mars were like the first ones I was like, oh my goodness, this music's amazing. Why am I listening to country, or Christian music?
Yeah, I guess you're lucky too, because like I was homeschooled, so like I was in my own little contained bubble. I had no idea this kind of music existed. But I didn't have anybody. I had a next door neighbor who was big into country and rap, and how he had Linkin Park, I have no idea, but quite lucky he did.
Yeah. I guess I talked about my teenage years a little bit earlier, but whoopsie. So, but yeah, mine, I would say probably my breakthrough band was definitely Linkin Park with Meteora. I remember getting that for Christmas. I mean, because I think the first song I just happened to hear In the End on the radio, and I had to figure out who the hell this band was and figure out what else they had, and it just kind of blew my mind because I never really heard like guitars tuned down like that, and then like Chester's vocals were just insane, and then like at the time like the rapping I thought was pretty cool, and I don't know, just like as an early teen that kind of stuff really spoke to me. Like that's the kind of stuff I was thinking about, but didn't really know how to think about or say. And they hit the nail on the head. I feel like a lot of people in our generation really, really identify with Linkin Park, and a lot of people's first, like the first band that they latched onto growing up.
I think My Chemical
where they really
Romance
found their
was
own
another
voice.
big one as well that a lot of people
Who's
latched
that?
onto. My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. I would that like the I guess like the punk rock type of scene. Definitely a lot of people. Which I think that was a little, like, just a few years younger than me, because I definitely remember Chemical Romance coming out, and I remember seeing them, like, on MTV and Fuse. I don't know if you guys had Fuse or remember that, but the Fuse was pretty much like what MTV was, like, in the early 90s and the like the 80s, where, like, all they did, like, they would just play music videos, and they would have talk shows about music videos. But they even had like talk shows about like metal bands and stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like the big four for me, I guess like the big five was like Linkin Park, Slipknot, Disturbed, System of a Down, and Lamb of God were like my Like those were always on rotation, and throw some Mudvayne in there as well. I remember the first time I heard Disturbed, I didn't actually know it was them, but it was in like tech class in like junior high. And somebody, I was like going through like PowerPoints, because that was one of our assignments we had to do, was learn how to make a PowerPoint. And somebody had put a Disturbed song on one of their slides. I was going through the previous student stuff, and I was like, what the hell is this? I don't know. I don't even know who made it, but I was playing that slide like over and over again, like just like it was Remember from Disturbed, that and I just that little snippet I kept on repeating. Like everybody around me was like, nah dude, I can't jam to that. I can't do that. Like, what are you talking about? This is awesome. So immediately I realized that the majority of humanity don't know what the hell they're talking about.
You brought up two interesting points. The first one is like I remember hearing music, like you hear it on the radio, you hear somebody listen to it, and like there's no way to know what song that is or what band that is. So like you hear somebody drive past and it's like, oh, that song sounded awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll never hear it again.
Yeah, there was no Shazam or Siri, back then. You had to pray that the DJ that was on the radio station would tell you, and that was Linkin Park with In the End.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if they didn't tell you that, like you were screwed. You had no clue.
That, or like if you had a friend listening to it and you'd be like, oh man, who is this? And then you get those stuck up assholes who are just like, oh, you don't know who this is? Oh, this is
my god, that happens so much. Like there's a dude like while we were in Maxwell, in Alabama, dude across the street from us like loved Jimi Hendrix. And at that point I knew nothing about Jimi Hendrix. I didn't even know he was dead. And
spoiler alert.
He's got like posters on his wall with Jimi Hendrix, and he played his music and all that stuff. And I was just like, "Oh, that's really cool. Like, does he have anything new? Like, is he putting out new stuff?" And he just like looked at me weird. He's like, "No, Jimi Hendrix is dead." And I'm like, "Oh." I was trying to pretend like I was like,
no.
like I knew that band. I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's really good. Like, what else do they got?" And
they just swat you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I would also say as well, like Blink-182 and Nirvana in that time era were also really big for me.
Yeah.
What was it? I remember. Well, I guess not. I don't want to get too far off topic, but I remember that like the first time I had heard Slipknot, and I had seen Slipknot, like I'd seen like all the goth kids had like the Slipknot like patches on their hoodies and their backpacks and stuff. It was always like Slipknot and Korn.
Yeah.
And I was like, Korn, what a fucking dumb name. I'm not gonna listen to that. And looking at the people who listen to it, like, hell no, I don't want to. Why?
What was the thing from Portlandia? The Korn with the backward K thing.
Yeah, the weirdos. Yeah. Yeah, just got done beating Halo. Gonna pick up the new Korn album.
Freaks with a backward K.
So, but I remember my friend down the street had shown me Pulse of the Maggot. He showed me like all kinds of band. Like he showed me AC/DC, Metallica, Slipknot. But he played me Pulse of the Maggots from Slipknot. And I had never heard anything from this band before, and I was like, dude, you've got to get me this CD. But I was the same thing. Like my parents were like super strict. Like my mom, especially, and like I've said previously, like I'm a product of divorce, so I primarily live with my mom. My dad didn't really care so much. All he would say was, all they do is like, they all sound the same. I can't understand what the hell they're saying. So I pretty much just didn't play it around him, but yeah, I definitely had to sneak it with my mom as well. Mm-hmm. I remember I got like a Slipknot poster, and she like ripped it up, told me, this is the devil's music. You can't be listening to this. But she would always want to be listening to what she wanted to know what I was listening to at all times. It's I remember I had gotten, it was like, cause I had gotten to a point where like, I was just going to listen to like Christian rock. I remember we went to like some Christian bookstore, and they had like a Christian rock section, and I got a CD from this band called Pillar.
Yeah. Yep, Pillar's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I guess I don't want to go to. And at the time, like I also was too, like I was like I was kind of God fearing as well. Like I don't want to go to hell, So like I can't listen to this stuff. So listen to Pillar, tried to enjoy it, but it wasn't terrible. But at like after I'd listened to Linkin Park, like you can't go to Pillar.
I know,
what
exactly what you mean. Yes, yeah. Because
So-
I had to listen to like Christian rock music, of course, around my parents. Like, I can't listen to what I want to listen to when you're around, so I'll listen to this instead. Because my parents had a really big like no headphone rules back in the day, so like I couldn't like listen to music like that. So it had to be on my stereo, and if it was on my stereo, they'd hear it. So yeah, I had to do the same thing, like Pillar, like Skillet, and a bunch of other ones like that. Yeah.
Well, I know one that you showed me,
Creed.
Chris, was
Creed
Demon
was another
Hunter.
one.
Demon Hunter.
They wouldn't have liked Demon Hunter back in the day. I think that was one of the ones that I found much later. But that too.
I remember now, like I remember feeling guilty for listening to Slipknot. I was like, I should not be listening to this. Like, why do I enjoy this? Because I remember like I was listening to Duality, and he was like, all I've got is insane. And like I remember like rewinding that part. Like, is he saying God? Is he saying all of God is insane? Like, oh no, like I really want to listen to Slipknot, but I can't. And then I had a friend. I remember I would go, and it was a friend from church, and I would go and spend the night at his house. And he was also like a closet metalhead as well. And I remember him showing me like he like dug in and like lifted like this like secret compartment in his dresser, and he pulled out like the Disaster Pieces like Slipknot live DVD. And like they have like severed goat heads and like pentagrams and shit.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, this is so cool, but we're going to hell, man.
Yep.
Like,
Going to hell.
yeah, I remember.
But gonna enjoy
I remember
the ride.
he had a friend who would actually videotape Headbangers Ball from MTV, and then we would like sneak that and watch that at like midnight. We would watch Headbangers Ball, and like there was like Kill Switch Engage and. Like As I Lay Dying, All That Remains, like all those bands were on there. That was such a cool time of like discovering new and awesome music. But I don't know, there was, like I said, always that kind of thing in the back of your head, like this is kind of wrong, but it's also really cool.
I think by the time I found Slipknot, I'd given up on all of that, like, I guess morality as far as like like you said, God fearing. Like at that point, I was like, I don't care. I just want to listen to what I want to listen to. Like I was already listening to punk rock music and stuff like that. I'd kind of started slowly skewing away from metal, and then I was on Daily Motion, watching some music video, and Left Behind by Slipknot came on. And I was like, this is the music of the gods. Where has this been? And I remember because, like, our classroom, because, like I said, I was homeschooled, we had these tables that were facing these windows, and my sister was on the left and I was on the right. And we had laptops at our desks. And, like, after schoolwork, we could do whatever we wanted to. So I was watching music videos and stuff. And I remember she walked behind me and saw that music video. And those of you who don't know, Slipknot wears these really, I guess, demonic-looking masks and flail around in strange fashion. I'm gonna tell. And of course, being the little brother that I am, I already had dirt ready for if ever I found myself in a situation. So I already had black bill ready. Well, if you tell about this, I'll have to tell about whatever. So. Yeah, I definitely remember finding Slipknot, and of course, I had no way to get a CD by them, so I was watching Daily Motion of like the same 3 or 4 Slipknot songs over and over again just to listen to them. I had to be careful not to get caught because they look scary. So that's just interesting. I guess I kind of knew yours, Ricky, because we talk about music a lot. So my next question is, like, what are some of the more odd genres that you guys listen to? Like, just like, I don't want to listen to metal right now. I just want to listen to something that's very different. For me, probably one of the more odd ones I listen to is ragtime piano, which is like old saloon piano music. I don't know. Like every now and then I'll just burn out on absolutely everything and I'll put some ragtime on. I'm like, yeah, this is worth jamming out to. Do you guys have anything like that?
Well, I know we kind of discussed it previously, but a lot of the times, like I'll go back and I'll listen to video game soundtracks because you know most of them are they're very chill, kind of pleasing to the ear, and then and very nostalgic as well. But then I'll also do like covers. I love listening to covers of whether it's like metal songs, video game songs, you know, just different people's takes on them. Whether like there's this guy I listen to, or there's a video that I go to. Which Chris, I know you know about it, but it's the Zelda and Chill, where it's it kind of like it's the Zelda songs, but it has like lo-fi beats to it as well, and that is like a go-to when I'm at work or driving or something. I don't really want to listen to metal. I also listen to a lot of 8-bit. I like a lot of 8-bit covers. So like people will do covers of video game, like newer video game music. Or I really love 8-bit covers of metal songs. So like I'll do like 8-bit covers of like Lamb of God and Gojira, stuff like that. I love listening to that stuff because like I don't know, it's not heavy, but you know what it sounds like. I don't know, it's just stuff that you can kind of hum along to, you know. I really love listening to that kind of stuff.
Mike?
I don't know. So I like now these days, like I listen to pretty much anything except for like mainstream music, like the not I wouldn't say mainstream, like the new music that comes out, like Selena Gomez or Justin Bieber. I was gonna say Timberlake, but or like these other like random artists that are come up out of nowhere and like hit it big, and everybody's just like, oh my god, it's amazing, you know. And so I pretty much like I've got a pretty big music library. Last time I checked, I had over like 15,000 songs that I actually owned in my music library, that I all managed and collected over the time and whatnot. So I mean, like I frequently just like rotate through music and I hit play. I mean, what I think for me, like the one thing that I don't listen to often is like say like screamo or metal, like hard metal, like the, you know, like you had showed us the band Scion the other day. So like for me, those aren't really usually typically my go-to. But if they play, I usually will play, you know, listen to them, but I usually don't search them out. But I mean, that's pretty much what I do nowadays is I just hit shuffle on my, you know, phone, and I just go through whatever's going through it. Every once in a while, I will have like, you know, a week's time frame where I'm just like all about like, say, like Avenged Sevenfold again, you know, or, you know, something a little bit louder than what I usually listen to, or a little bit more incoherent, I could say, than what I listen to. Or I just get nostalgic. So I mean, I still have new music, but my new music stays with the bands that I pretty much know. And then if it wasn't for Apple Music, sometimes I'll put on like a random, like I'll play like a, like, you know, like, hey, this is Michael's playlist, and they'll put like new songs on there that you might want to hear, and I'm like, oh cool, you know, actually I like this song, and whatnot. So I mean, like, it's just really more of a, I'll just really am feeling like a certain genre, say like metal, and right. I don't care what they're saying, I don't care that I can not understand them at that moment, but it's just loud. So I mean, that's usually, I mean, I don't have any particular band, but it's usually just whatever metal that I might have on my, which I have a good selection of it, like Dimir Borg, how do you say?
Dimmu Borgir.
Yeah, so like them, like I have them. I haven't listened to them in probably like a good like 8 months, but every once in a while I'll just like, I don't know what you're saying, but this is what I'm listening to.
Yeah, you know? Dude, I love Puritania. I remember in high school, like somebody giving me like a 2-song demo disc that had like like Confined from As I Lay Dying, and then Puritania from Dimmu Borgir on it. Mm-hmm. Whew. Yep. Wow.
Yeah, I only have their one album. It's the In Sorte Diaboli or whatever it is, and I'll just
the one I gave you.
Yep, apparently. So the one you gave me, I haven't gotten any of their other stuff, but I'll just be like, and play, you know, and I'll just listen to that stuff, you know.
That was from my Cradle of Filth era. which I still listen to them every now and then, but like I went through a period where it's like Cradle Filth and Demure and a bunch of other bands like that I was like, this is good music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love listening. I like listening to like piano covers. If you like Avenged Sevenfold, there's a guy on YouTube who does piano cover. Actually, he's on Spotify as well. It's called Dade Bryant, Dade Bryant, and he does piano covers of Avenged Sevenfold songs. Really, really cool. And I just love listening to like acoustic covers of like my favorite, because I mean I pretty much like primarily listen to metal. Like those are the bands that I love, but I love hearing like other people's takes on those songs, whether it be like EDM. Like there's a really good EDM Toxicity remix I ran across not too long ago. They did like a medieval style of it, and I don't know, just like acoustic, just different takes on metal songs that I love. I really like listening to those.
No, the one metal band that I do enjoy listening to is and I listen to it quite frequently is Bring Me the Horizon. And like especially the Semper Eternal album. I absolutely like. That's probably one of my favorite. Like their newer stuff, I've actually started to enjoy it. But
you did a Ricky.
I'm there too, man. Like Bring Me to the Horizon's early stuff, like I like heavy stuff, but my God, they were just too insane for me.
Have you listened to them live?
So good back in the day, and I remember showing it to Ricky, and he was like, "Nah, this isn't. No, I don't want to listen to this." And then like now you'll show me songs by them and I'm just like, I don't want to listen to this.
It was a shift. It really was, because like it wasn't just like gradual. It was just boom, like pop, and you're just like, what?
Yeah, Asking Alexandra did that same nonsense, and I don't listen to them anymore either.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot like Linkin Park too. I feel like especially their first two albums especially were like really heavy, and then they just mellowed out, which I still like a handful of their newer stuff, but those first two albums especially were like god tier.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know, Bring Me the Horizon, I swear it's like every new song they come out with, I'm like, damn, this is good. Like
anyway,
this has been
next question. And this one could probably be a pretty lengthy one, so give me one answer. Swear to God. What are some genres that you just simply avoid? Like you won't even give it a chance. I'm not even going to try to listen to it. There is nothing good here. Just leave it scorched earth. I don't want to listen to this. What are some genres?
Children
I don't
music.
really like. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. What was it? Christian hymns. I'm good.
Okay, technically that's music. I was thinking like, so if like for me, like all this, I guess like newer, I just think of it as like Disney music. Like all this like One Direction and like poppy like kids singing.
K-pop.
Like, yeah, K-pop. I just like, I'm not even going to try, because it's all, ooh baby, tonight's the night. We've got to make it whatever John Mulaney says. So, as John Mulaney also says, that is such teenage horseshit. I want to make music for 30-year-olds. Tonight's no good. How about next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Like,
Mike?
Oh, actually something came up.
yeah, so like I don't know. I think I like, and that's what I say. It's like Justin Bieber, don't touch his shit. You know. So like if he falls underneath pop, that's fine. Like there's some pop that I do listen to, but it's a little bit more like, it's not like John Bellion. I don't think he's pop. He's more like electronic to me. He's not like true like EDM, but I mean,
Mike.
What's up?
Genres, Mike.
Yeah, I was just trying to think like he falls under the pop, because as I'm talking, I'm going through my iPad. And I'm like, well, I don't really listen to a lot of pop. And then I'm like looking through it, and I'm like, no, I listen to that band. I listen to this one. I'm like, I don't think they really classify as pop.
There's One Direction.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like that's like I don't know. I mean, like I don't like listen to hymns. I don't like listening to a whole bunch of classical. I pretty much stay away from those. Classical will put me to sleep and bore the living shit out of me. So I stay away from classical. As a short answer. I understand some people like it, but I don't. And rap. I mean, I really do honestly stay away from rap. I mean, there's like your old rap. Yeah, some of it was really, really good. But I mean, I pretty much stay away from rap. So like Lil Wayne, like fuck that, no.
So, Ricky, you kind of mentioned this earlier, and Mike, I know you have one too. So, like, what was like the best concert you ever went to? Why was the best concert? And in contrast to that, what was the worst concert that you ever went to? And why?
I think I'm pretty sure I'm the number one concert goer of this whole entire group. I'm pretty sure. So this is gonna be a hard.
I've been to a few.
A few.
But maybe, I don't know. Educate us.
I mean, I can sit down. Let's see. Well, I mean,
I need two, Mike. Worst and best.
Fuck, I don't know, man. Like Jesus. So usually, if I go to a concert, it's usually going to a band that I already know. I don't really go to concerts to bands that I don't really like. I will, but shoot. Ricky, take it. I've got so many.
Okay.
I don't like. They were all really, really good. Like fuck, I don't know how to like. Organize.
I don't know. I have two that I really, really enjoy, but the one I got to go with one. So I'm gonna have to say, when we went and saw Gojira in like a little like dive bar. Holy shit! What a good show. Like this really, really big band in such a small venue was so awesome. It's my first time seeing them. Been listening to them for years, and finally got the chance to go see them. And wow, what a show! I mean, they're like I don't know, like 20 feet away from you, just playing all these songs that you've listened to for years now. Gojira was one of the bands that. I don't know. I went like years of just listening to like the same stuff over and over, and then you finally find that new band that you can really get into and learn all the ins and outs about all the. Which I don't know if you guys do this, but I kind of learn about all the different members of the bands, what they play, their names, what their interest and whatnot, kind of stuff they do outside of it. And Gojira was kind of that band for me, and I hadn't really done that since my teenage years with. A lot of the bands that I mentioned earlier, Disturbed, Slipknot, System, Lamb of God. So that was a really, really cool show to go to. And I've been to a lot. Like I said earlier, I've seen Slipknot like 6 times, one of which I was piss drunk and don't really remember. But I've enjoyed it every single time. But yeah, Gojira was really the one that stood out to me.
With Gray Guy.
with Gray Guy. This guy literally just had the rock horns up in a gray hoodie, just the entire show, doing the same thing. And then at one point he was like holding his arm up, and,
like not even to the rhythm either.
Yeah.
He was into it.
So
Great
I think
show.
I think I got it now. Okay, so the best band that I think I've seen live. And I've seen them twice now, would be 21 Pilots.
Really?
Yes. Switchfoot was up there. So, like, for me, when I go to a concert, I'm really all about the energy and the energy of the crowd if I'm going to a concert, right? So, Switchfoot and 21 Pilots, they both had really good energy because John Foreman, he would go out there and he would be in the crowd. He would climb on all the scaffolding. He'd go out there, take someone's hat, wave their banner and shit like that in the crowd, sing with the people inside the crowd. He sang next to me, and I thought that was amazing. Now, 21 Pilots, I've seen twice now live. I got to see them in England, and I got to see them here. I almost got to see them twice in England. But yeah, so they brought that was when they brought their drum kit out on on top of people. And so he was playing the drums on top of people. The lead singer, I mean, I used to know their names, and I can't remember him, but the lead, he was climbing all over everything. He was like singing with everybody. He was always everywhere. They're like shit's blowing off, lights going everywhere, confetti's going everywhere, like all the time. Their scenery on their stage was amazing. Like when I saw them up in, I think we went to go see them up in Washington. They had a burning car on stage. They had like this huge, massive like catwalk that lowered on top of the crowd, and so he's like running up and down like this big massive catwalk that's going across the crowd as like fireworks are being shot from it over people, all indoor. Sounds arena dangerous. Too is huge. And then he goes to like this other center stage, and he's like singing and like being like lifted up and like dancing around inside of it, and so like the atmosphere was like absolutely unbelievable. And like multiple times he like pops up on other sides of the arena. Like he disappears for a second, still singing, and the next thing you know, he's like up at the top of the fucking nosebleed section, singing with people in the nosebleed section. And so like that's like for me really, really good. I went to go see, I think the worst one, because I wouldn't say it was worst. It was really, really fun at the time, but it was fun because I was in that religious and Christian mentality, as I saw Hillsong United, and I think I've seen Hillsong United live twice as well. But I don't find Christian concerts to be as fun, because they have a lot of energy, but then yet again, like even during the music, it's just like, all right, now if you're having a bad day, just everybody get on your knees and come to the stage and accept Jesus into your heart. And I mean, that's kind of like a buzzkill right there. You're having fun, lights and sounds, and all of a sudden, and then it turns into a big. And I get it, I understand. I was in that area of my life, like that was it. But like still, like it just okay. Now I'm at church.
Yeah, I went to a metal show where they did that. We went and saw Norma Jean, which is a Christian metal band, and they did that same thing. I was like, oh, well, time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen other Christian artists live. Now my beer
tastes bad.
Yeah. Now I feel bad drinking beer. And I've seen other Christian artists live, and it's nothing like that. So I don't know. So like if you compare it, I think Hillsong United was phenomenal, and if you are a big Christian and love that type of music, they're phenomenal live. They really are. But if I were to rate them on all the concerts and festivals I've been to, and how many bands I've seen live, they were probably the most like, trying to compare those two. I understand it's kind of hard because you're comparing two different worlds essentially. They were pretty much the meh of it all.
Ricky, did you list your worst one?
Mumford and Sons.
What?
Okay, I could see it.
I've seen Slipknot and Korn and Blink-182, who were also pretty bad live. But Mumford and Sons.
I guess if you're coming from like a mosh pit, style, just like everybody's just like, intoxicated, just having a grand old time listening to music they can't understand, and then you're going to folk.
Yeah, which I wasn't a huge fan. Like I've heard them on the radio. I mean, some of their songs are catchy, but I've never really been like a big fan of them. I think that was we had got like free tickets or just went on a whim, and we left early. We were like, this is boring as hell, so we just left. It was just like all the preppy kids, pop collars and puka shell necklaces, and I was like, this is not our crowd. Let's go.
Everybody with their Sperry's on, their boat shoes and short shorts, and polos tucked in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Have the little lanyard on their sunglasses.
Yeah, or like the camo hat with like the fish hook in it, and like their sunglasses laying on the back of their neck.
Yeah.
I was like, this is boring.
I can talk shit because I was a Sperry wearing short polo type person too, because that's how my parents dressed me.
Well,
I wanted to dress like Chris when Chris was wearing his chains and the 40 rings he had on his fingers, and all the black and the baggy pants that had the chains and spikes all over them, and the studded belt. I wanted in the Vans, like I wanted to be that guy. Like I wanted to be Like, I thought that was like cool, and that's like why I want to try and blend in with like those types of like crowd and listen to that emo rock and shit, because I thought that was like so cool. But my parents weren't having any of it. I had to be.
Yeah, that's at my early like freshman and sophomore year. I think I was kind of in that same vein because my mom dressed me, so I wore like the different color polos, and I had the puka shell necklaces and stuff. But yeah, then I discovered music, and I was like, yes, black t-shirts all the time.
Wanted to live
Nothing
in
else.
Spencer's and Hot Topic, and
Yeah,
that wasn't happening.
Chris.
My best concert and worst. So worst concert's kind of hard because most of the shows I've seen are like, I guess, really underground, like metal. Like that makes up the majority of what I've seen. Like literally, it's in a garage.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite bands is The Chariot, and like they were phenomenal, but their audio quality was horrible because they had like one amp for the entire band. So I'm just thinking like big mainstream stuff. So probably the best concert was the first Slipknot concert that Ricky and I went to, which I think they had like a little carnival there. Was that Knotfest, Ricky, or was that just like it just happened to be a carnival there?
I think that was like a separate fair that was going on, and this is the same exact venue I saw Mumford & Sons.
It was just, I guess, convenient timing. Yeah, it was like a carnival, and then like we're watching Slipknot, and if you don't know anything about Slipknot, they are very big into like the performance aspect of the shows. They don't just get up there and play music. Like there's always crazy stuff going on. And so I just remember they had this stage that was like 4 tiers. They were like 10-foot steps going up. And one of the band members takes a running leap from the top one all the way down to the bottom level to make it back to his instrument and just continued playing. And I was like, I would have just died there. But I don't know, like that show, like the energy was insane. They played, of course, all your favorite songs, that you have from the band, which is really good. And then I just remember, I think that is where I guess my impression of Slipknot changed a good deal, because as the concert's wrapping up and everything, they just played their last song after the third or fourth encore, of course. Corey Taylor, the lead singer, he's on stage and he's like, you guys get out of here, or whatever. I don't want to see you anymore, or whatever. And he's like, take care of each other because you're all you have. I was like, huh. Yeah, I guess that does make sense for Slipknot. Like that they are about kind of like a internal brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever. Anyway, so
what a nice young man.
That was probably one of the better bands I've seen live. I mean, of course, it was prefaced by, oh God, what was that stupid band that was before? They were taking selfies on stage.
Hatebreed.
Hatebreed. Oh God, how bad was that? Anyway, it's a close tie for my other like the best concert I've ever seen is when we went to go see Metallica. It was inside of a baseball stadium. The entire width of the diamond was a projector screen. And as they're playing this music, like there's just these huge, massive images on the screen. Like there's this one where there's just a swarm of crows flying, and it looked amazing.
It was, but for whom the bell tolls, I think is what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they pulled out that drum kit from the stage and everything, like underneath the stage and stuff. Like it was a really good show. But that also was my worst show that I've ever seen, because at that same show, Avenged Sevenfold played.
Yeah,
that was embarrassing. The audio was bad. They had no energy. There was like, if I remember right, they didn't have like any like graphics up. They didn't have any signs up. Like the only reason we knew it was Avenged Sevenfold is because 1, we know the songs, and 2, because I think he announced it. And they played like 5 songs.
Yeah, it was a super short set.
And it was so bad. And I was sitting thinking, like, it's probably because they're playing with Metallica, but at the same time, that was a really bad show. Like, if I went there just to go see them, or like if if like how Metallica's playing, I don't really care about that, but I get to see Avenged Sevenfold first. Like, yeah, I'd been really disappointed.
Yeah, I was struggling. Like the Slipknot concert you're talking about with the fair, that was like the one I was struggling with as to whether or not that was my favorite. But talking about Avenged Sevenfold, that was another really great concert. Actually got to see them like front row, and it was a great concert. Like they did a really good job. But Seether was there, 3 Days Grace was there, Escape to Fate was there. Who else? Bullet for My Valentine. All a bunch of people that play guitars and drums and sing simultaneously.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Avenged Sevenfold. It's just that concert, like the audio was just bad. And
yeah, I definitely agree. That was very disappointing.
Yeah. So I am wrapping up on questions here because I know we're going pretty late. So I guess another big question is, does your significant other listen to the same music as you, or do they listen to something completely different? And did they always listen to that type of music, or is it something like you introduced them to?
Yeah, so that's a really good question because I think Brandy listens to a lot similar stuff that I listen to. I know she was before we met. She was huge into rap, and I think that's kind of like gone downhill. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure she will after she listens to this. I'm sure I know she still listens to some rap, but she's definitely gotten into a different genre of music and has started enjoying more of my music now. Yeah. Which I have a wide palette anyway. So
I would say for me, for the most part, yes, we do pretty much listen to the same stuff. She's introduced me to things like just off the top, like Tool was one that I never really listened to growing up. I always just kind of viewed it as like stoner rock, which I mean it pretty much is. But yeah, I've come to enjoy it these days. But yeah, I mean like the big ones like Slipknot, Lamb of God, Nirvana. Stuff like that we listen to. We generally for the most part have the same taste, but there's like she likes, like I was mentioning earlier, like the old like dad rock stuff like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. Like she's really into those bands. Not really my stuff. She was really big into Pantera, which I listened to Pantera previously, but they were never like one of my like all-time favorites like they are for her. But I would say yeah, for majority of stuff, I'd say we're pretty similar as far as our musical tastes go.
It's cool. I know my wife, like, she didn't listen to anything that I listen to now. And I remember, like, when we used to hang out as just friends, like, I had to really monitor what I was listening to, because I was like, pretty sure if she hears Corey Taylor scream, "I want to slit your throat," and then and then do things with the wound, that probably would be a bit of a turnoff. So I don't know. It's interesting though, because like she slowly started getting indoctrinated, and now she loves Slipknot. So
really,
every now and then, like I'll have something, and she'll be like, yeah, no, that's not good. Like Holy Roller, I don't think she particularly cared for like that song. But
and Amanda showed me that, like, and then of course she I think I mentioned this, but she recommended that you would probably like it.
Yeah. And
then, but yeah,
it's interesting.
It's cool. You can show each other new music, Yeah,
it's just like when she was growing up, like in South Florida, there's really only like like rap and stuff, and I don't think she listens to that very much anymore, but like it's either that or like standard girl music. But yeah, I can definitely blare some Slipknot and she'll be bouncing right along to it.
That's awesome. Standard girl music, Chris?
I don't want to get into that. Ed Sheeran. So yeah, it is pretty cool because I've never had like all the dumb little girlfriends. Of course, I never had a serious relationship like this before, but I've never been married before, so that's good. nobody liked my style of music, so like it was always like two butting heads. Like if we get in the car, I've got to like make compromises as to what I'm gonna listen to. You know, I can't listen to what I actually want to listen to.
It's like driving with my mom.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. We were somewhere the other day, and we were in some situation where we had to listen to like poppy, like really terrible music. And we got in the car and I was like, I need some metal to purge this from my brain, like now.
Cleanse the palate.
I got to get this. Yes. So that is pretty cool when your significant other likes the same music as you. All right, I got really one, maybe two more questions. So this is also going to be a loaded question. It's going to be really a long answer, I'm sure. But like, what is, if you were stranded on a desert island, what is the one band CD you would take? Who is it and why?
Ricky.
Ooh.
One CD. If you can tell me the album too, I'll be really impressed.
I would probably...
And don't say Iowa.
Man, it's tough. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, Iowa's really good, but it's really heavy, and I would get tired of it. So I would probably go with Avenged Sevenfold's self-titled album.
Is that the one with City of Evil on it?
No, this is City of Evil is the third one. Self-titled was the fourth. Came out in 2007. It's got
what songs?
Almost Easy, Scream.
Okay.
Amongst others.
Yeah, I know which one.
Afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's got a good mix of like good melodics, good heavy stuff. I feel like I had it on repeat for a long time, but yeah, I feel like I could definitely stretch that one out. So that's one of my go-to 8-bit covers.
Michael?
Oh man, okay, so I'm torn between two bands. I'd either have Angels and Airwaves.
Said one, Michael.
I know, either have Angels and Airwaves or Jude and the Lion. And I'm thinking more...
The plane's crashing right now. You gotta grab one.
Yep, Angels and Airwaves. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So, and I would probably...
Which album?
Greatest hits.
I think I'd probably take their...
You don't have to tell me an album.
No, because I'm torn between two of them, and there were two of my favorite ones, which is "We Don't Need a Whisper," their 2006 album, and "I Empire," which was a 2007 album. They both evenly split my favorite songs from both those. Each album has like half and half of my favorite songs. So,
if I remember correctly, I Am Empire was, I think, my favorite one.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to them in years.
Yeah. They're dropping a new album here soon. So, but anyway, but yeah, I think it, yeah, well, fuck it. We'll do I Empire. Yeah. So that's my answer here.
I would probably take Iowa, but then I just thought about what Ricky said in his wisdom, and he's probably right. So I feel like I probably would grab something like Blink-182 or NoFX just to keep things positive, you know? What was the Blink-182 album with Miss You and all that on it? I can see the album cover in my brain.
Yeah, that's the one with like the spray paint smiley face with the splotch. Yeah, I don't know the name, but I know the cover.
I think that's a self-titled album.
I don't remember.
I think that's the Blink-182 self-titled.
That one's got a lot of good music on it that I often go back and listen to. I love punk music, so yeah, if I was thinking about my mental health in the long run like Ricky did as the plane was crashing, I probably would grab an album like that. Yeah. I don't know. I love Iowa though. Like there's so much good music on that album. Changed midlife. I guess I could ask. Last question.
Yep.
Promise. Last question. What instruments do or did you play, and did you start playing them because you were influenced by a band? Or I guess, do you want to learn how to play an instrument because of a band?
So I'll take that one. So the very first instrument I ever played was actually the trumpet.
Really?
Because I had a choice of either taking a typing class or band.
All the hot
So
chicks
I
were in
ch-
bands, so
So I was like, typing class, lame. So yeah, I took band, and I played the trumpet for a year in 6th or 7th grade, one of those two. And I mean, it was all right. I didn't hate it, I suppose, but it wasn't like I wasn't inspired or taken aback by it at all. I actually remember like as a trumpet player, we sat front row, like right by the, what is that thing called? The conductor, yeah.
The Wind Waker.
Yeah. And sitting front row, and I literally fell asleep in the middle of band class. So if that tells you how much I enjoyed it. But so we had 2 band instructors. That was the word I was thinking of. So we had one band instructor that would like wave the little wand thing. I don't know what it's called, the Wind Waker. And then we had another one that would actually be in the back, and they had a full drum kit that they would actually play along to the band with. And I was like, that's what I want to play. Like, that's actually pretty damn cool. And it was around that same time I was, discovering my own music. And there's 2 songs. And if you've hung out with me for any amount of time, I'm sure if we've had a few alcoholic beverages or whatever, I've told you this. But there's 2 songs in particular that inspire me to want to play drums. The first one is Welcome by Slipknot. And if you just hit play on that song, immediately you'll know why. And the second was The Faded Line by Lamb of God. Just the footwork, the double bass footwork that was in those songs really, really inspired me to want to play. Like, I want to do that because that sounds badass.
I always get that one confused. I always think it's Curse of the Blackened Sun or whatever the hell. I always think that's the one.
So yeah, that was definitely one I wanted to learn how to play, but that came out a few years after that. The only I guess the Ashes of the Wake was the newest one, whereas that one was Sacrament. And then also Puritania from Dimmu Borgir, which we talked about earlier. Like the double bass he does. I don't know. It was badass. I suppose I'd like to think I can hold a tune. I feel like I can sing okay, not the best, but I feel like I could sing all right. And I also play a little bit of guitar. I don't know any of the chords or anything. I just kind of play by ear. I actually made like an acoustic album at one point. And I was actually a metal drummer for a band at one point as well. So, but yeah, to answer your question, I was inspired by Slipknot and Lamb of God to learn how to play drums and the band instructor because it was badass. Chris Adler, Joey Jordison, my idols at the time.
Michael.
So for me, no, not really. I did try to learn. So when we were in Ohio, I started playing the baritone, and I absolutely sucked ass. So yeah, I don't remember why I wanted to. I think because all the people I wanted to be friends with in Ohio were in band. So I was like, I'll do band. What's so hard about band? And I picked like what I thought was going to be the easiest instrument. And the baritone's not all that complicated, but
cymbals are the easiest. And a triangle.
Yeah, I just So I remember doing like one school concert with the baritone, and there was another baritone guy. I can't remember. I think his name was like Trevor. Really cool, wacky kid. And I just try to pretend like I was playing. So that, because I sounded like shit, so I just tried to pretend like I was like, oh, I'm playing, ha ha. I didn't know anything. The other instrument that I have currently, but I am wanting to learn, but I haven't really had much time to learn. I picked it up a few times, is violin. I mean, I really do. So, like Lindsay Sterling, I've been able to see her live, VIP, meet and greet, all that fun stuff. She's not really like an inspiration of why I like the violin. I've always
her
just
music's really good. She just seems like a really annoying person, like Zooey Deschanel. Just stop talking. Anyway, sorry, continue.
I don't know her, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, she was very high energy during the VIP meet and greet, but as most VIP meet and greets are. They're very
Quirky.
like, hey, how are you? Like, like they're really like, whether they're putting an act on or not, I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty sure if you have a idol or somebody and you spent money for a VIP meet and greet, you don't want to. What's up? Cool.
What?
Bye. Like nobody wants that. So, but anyway, so violin is the one that I have currently, and I am going to be learning at some point. Maybe I'll actually learn it before I die on my deathbed.
Wait, is that the girl who like dresses up as like different video game characters and does violin?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And dances and jumps and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Seems like every annoying girl you ever knew in your teenage years.
Pretty much. But yeah, that's at least from what I remember, and I don't think anybody really drove me to. I've just always really enjoyed the violin. If I hear a song with a violin, I think it was a Good Charlotte, So Predictable. When the violin comes in and it's like,
Or Yellow Card. Yellow Card does a lot of stuff with the violin.
Yes, Yellow Card was another big band of mine as well. And so I just really enjoyed that and a snare drum. If you put a snare drum in a song, I love it. But especially if it's at the right timing, like 30 Seconds to Mars has really good timing with their snares.
Psychosocial.
So, psychosocial. Yep. So yeah, that's about it. Baritone and violin, and I don't really think any artist really drove me to it. It's just all right, that's what I want to do.
I play bass because of Paul Gray.
Oh, and I also tried playing guitar, but that didn't work.
I get it, Ricky. So I play bass. The first instrument that I learned how to play was actually a tenor saxophone. They started doing like this music program at the church we were going to at the time, and like they had, like our parents signed us up for it. We had no idea, and we went into like the children's church room, and they had all these instruments laid out on the stage. They're like, "Oh, just pick an instrument. We'll teach you how to play it." So I knew nothing about what the instrument was. So I picked out the saxophone, and like I liked it, but I absolutely hated reading sheet music, and that's the way they taught us, was reading sheet music. And I just remember thinking like I could probably do really cool stuff with this instrument, but because I'm reading sheet music, I feel like all I'm going to play is classical music. Little did I know that saxophone was not in classical music. At least I don't think it is. But I don't know, like they had us do like homework assignments, I guess, of like, listen to this person play and see, where you can figure out the instruments playing. And like they gave me some pretty interesting music to listen to, like like Kenny G or whatever. And I was like, that's really technical and cool sounding, but like I'm playing like the same two notes over and over again. So I didn't do that for very long. Then there was a drummer at that church. It was a non-denominational church. They played like semi-secular music. It wasn't like hymns or whatever. And my parents tried to get me to play drums, and like I didn't get it. I knew I didn't get it, and the instructor knew that I didn't get it. And I was just like, I don't want to play this instrument. And he was like, well, your parents are paying me, so we're going to. So I did not care for playing drums. I don't know why. Like I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. Many years later, I picked up the harmonica, which I guess anybody can play, but like playing like kind of like bluesy. Like I started getting into that, which is pretty cool. And then
that long train a coming.
Yeah. Then I joined a band. They taught me how to play bass for the specific songs that we played. I enjoyed playing that, and then I taught myself, oh, by the way, I want to change my CD to Demon Days by the Gorillaz. I don't know why I totally blanked on that. It's like my favorite CD of all time. Anyway, I learned how to play a bunch of the Gorillaz music because they're really heavy on the bass, and it's kind of just like really easy to learn and melodic. So I learned how to play a bunch of their songs and things like that. Didn't do any sheet music, like Ricky said. I don't know any of the tabs or whatever. I just kind of figured it out. And like they also taught me how to do like screaming vocals, which was pretty cool. I could do that for a little while, and then my throat started doing bad things, so I stopped screaming. So
yeah, weren't you in was it Pillars of something?
No. Psalms of Ruin.
Psalms of Ruin. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Psalms of Ruin went to the same church as us, and they were like the local popular band, and we were like hanging on their coattails. So like, we would open for them, and it was so embarrassing. Oh my god, we played like 4 shows, and it's like they're still setting up the stage. We basically did their sound check for them, so that was our set, and it was pretty embarrassing. Interesting enough fact, like that's way before I met Ricky, but apparently Amanda was at the show where the cops showed up because we were playing illegally in like storage unit. Like it was just like a prompt like show. We showed up at the storage unit and started playing, and the cops showed up. So that was fun.
I miss those days, man.
And like I guess there's one instrument that I want to learn how to play. I've always wanted to learn how to play is the banjo.
Yes.
Like I don't know what it is about it. But, like, the banjo just, like, I would sit on a front porch and play the banjo just in my old years. I don't know why. I love the sound of a banjo. It's really cool.
Yeah,
like, you play it.
You live in the middle of nowhere on a mountain. So that is the perfect instrument.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you love Fallout, so and there's plenty of banjos in Fallout. So
sit by the steel and play my banjo. I don't know. I can't think of any inspirations though, aside from Gorillas for the bass. I'm trying to think of like an inspiration for the banjo. Just like anytime I hear the banjo, I'm like, yeah, it's super good. Trampled by Turtles, maybe. Trampled by Turtles is like a bluegrassy like rock band kind of.
I'm gonna
they have really
these guys up. I like the name.
Really fast banjo, and it's like if country music did speed metal, that's what the banjo is. It's really cool. Cool. Well, I think that's probably all the time we have for today, fellas. This is an interesting topic. Like I said, I absolutely love music, so it's always interesting to hear what other people's opinions on music are. So, you know, it's always neat to get somebody else's perspective on a type of music that maybe you don't listen to. So that actually is my recommendation for this week: is ask your friends, ask your family what they listen to, find out what their favorite bands are, and give them a listen. You never know when you're going to find something new that you thought you didn't like. You might stumble across something that's brand new and fresh and becomes your favorite band. So always give music a good listen. Listen to lyrics, listen to the actual instruments. You'll find something new every time. And that's it.
Roll that intro.
Stop.
This has been the Pixelated Porch Podcast. We're the friendly nerds, Ricky, Chris, and Mike. You can listen to us on all major podcast platforms. Plus, we're on Twitter and YouTube. Just search Pixelated Porch.
So all the tourists and whatnot. So that was
The
really
what?
fun. Yeah, you heard me.
Terrorist.
All of the what?
The tourists.
All the what?
The tourists.
Tourists.
Yeah, the tourists. You gotta,
Okay.
you know, that southern drawl. You know, you gotta say the tourists. You know, so then people don't know
I
if
gotcha.
you're saying terrorist or tourist.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing. A whole bunch of foreigners being in, you know, in a concentrated area, creating havoc.
This has been
Not
the
drunk.
Pixelated Porch Podcast.